Today's video is going to be all about the Natasha Denona Xenon palette. I know a lot of people have already done videos, but I thought I'd go ahead and give you my thoughts. I'm on a low buy, so this is the only makeup product that I bought in October, which is pretty exciting. I have used the palette 3 times now, so I have swatches. I've already filmed a YouTube short, and I'll probably include that one in this video. And then also I filmed this eye look as well. If you are new, please subscribe. I love makeup. It is a whole lot of fun. And like I said, I'm on a low buy, so I'm trying to be very careful with my makeup purchases. Let us know if you got this palette, what your thoughts are. Also, the Sephora sale is happening now, so you could get it for, a bit of a discount if you are interested. And yeah, let's get started. All right, here it is, the Xenon palette. Now, I don't have the mini Xenon. I just felt like that one for me wasn't really necessary, but I do like this expanded color story, but I definitely have some thoughts. As you can tell, it's a very cool toned palette, a lot of grays, blacks, silvers. Overall, I do think it's really beautiful. I will go ahead and show you the swatches. I'll include the makeup looks. That will be at the end of the video. Now, it's beautiful. It really, really is. But I'll go ahead and tell you there are some negatives. First of all, some of the mattes are repetitive. This shade here and this shade here, they're nearly identical. I mean, barely. One of them is like maybe half a shade darker, but it's very, very minimal. Some of the shimmers look a bit similar as well. Also, this shade here, it's so hard to see this palette. The one called Time and the one called Nev. They're similar. They are kind of silvery, sparkly shades. And a few of the shades in here, including the one I'm wearing on the lid today, is the one that has the pink undertone in it. It's right there. It's called Snowbow. A few of these are definitely on the chunky side, and so you definitely need a wet brush. Now, it looks beautiful for sure. I love it, but without the wet brush, it would have been crumbling all over my face. So that's something to think about. I don't mind. I often use a wet brush for metallic shades anyway. But yeah, I think my biggest problem is that some of the shades kind of dupe themselves within the palette. There was one shade that I don't love. This one that's a cream to powder, and normally I love the cream to powder formula, but that shade there called Sposh, I felt was really patchy and hard to use. Today I'm wearing Ebb in the outer corner, which is a metallic, but I really like how that looks. I also like this one called Night Sky. That one was very good, but this one, definitely, yeah, I would say it was a little patchy for sure. Yeah, and when you look at the palette like this, it looks very silver and white, but on the eyes, a lot of the shades pull that like cool tone silver where they look almost blue. Like that's kind of how this eye look is, and one of the other eye looks that I did. So overall, I really do like this palette. I just don't know that it's one I'm going to get a lot of use out of. I wanted to show you an alternative. I already did a makeup look on this palette. This is the Cloud 9 palette from ColourPop. I got this in PR. I will link my video that I did on this palette up in the cards. And honestly, I really, really love this palette. Now, it's not identical to the Xenon, but definitely has some similar shades for sure. You're getting a lot of cool tones and a lot of silvers. I actually prefer this one a little bit color story wise because the matte shades I think are a better selection. Some of those mattes in the Xenon, they're so light. I don't know, they don't really work that great in the crease even for me. And obviously, if you have a deeper skin tone, they're not going to really work for that. I think they were more intended maybe to be like a light matte in the inner corner or all over the lid. I don't know. Not my favorite. I think the matte selection in the ColourPop palette is way better because they're a bit more neutral and you have more depth in the mattes. Like you have this dark brown. These two shades here, they're definitely cooler toned, but they're not super cool toned. They're not like gray, and they have more depth. So I don't know. I definitely think that the matte selection in this palette is better. Again, they're not identical. Let me give you some swatches of the ColourPop palette. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of surprised. I feel like for me, the Cloud 9 palette is a bit more wearable, and I just feel like I can get better use out of the shades in here. Here's some swatches of the ColourPop palette. Now, really, I mean, look how intense this silver is. This is one of those newer formulas they have that is kind of chunky. It's not really a glitter though, but with a wet brush, they look amazing. So anyway, I definitely feel like the ColourPop palette is giving very similar vibes. And like I said, I think that the selection of mattes in here for me is better. It's definitely what I more prefer. So I would say the Xenon palette, it definitely is beautiful, but I think a lot of people have said they may not get as much use out of this because it's so like grayish blue toned, but I really do like it. I do. This shade here in the middle is the only one I had problems with. I felt like it was super patchy and it didn't work that great. But the shimmers are beautiful, but some of them are on the chunky side, so you definitely need to use a wet brush. I don't really mind. The biggest downfall for me is I don't think that the selection of matte shades in here is the best. It's not my favorite. The shimmers are fantastic, but I don't know, the mattes could have been better tones and I would have preferred that. Also, like the darkest shade is that super patchy black, so I would have preferred that to be, you know, better. And then the other darker shades are super metallic, not mattes. So for me, not ideal. But honestly, I kind of feel like the Cloud 9 palette is a better selection and a more user-friendly, at least for me, color story. So anyway, I'm still glad I got the Xenon palette. I don't regret it. I just don't know that I will get as much use out of it. And I don't know, like if I didn't have a YouTube channel, in all honesty, I would probably just get this palette and not buy the Natasha Denona Xenon palette. Just saying, I don't know that it's necessary. I feel like this palette is really good. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on this palette. Let us know what you think. Did you buy this one? Do you have the mini 5-pan version? I'm very curious. That one did get good reviews and people seem to really, really like it. I will go ahead and include, I think I'll go ahead and include like the quick makeup tutorials that I filmed, including this one at the end of this video. But yeah, if you are new, I hope you'll subscribe. Let us know what you think. And thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.